Hello everyone and welcome to today's Daily Splat. Now, as you're all aware, if you've watched a few of these, I haven't really got a consistent theme that runs through these. They're just musings that I have during the day and things like that. Some days, however, I struggle to think of something for that day. And it's on those days where I will just sit and think, oh, what should I do? I've had an idea for something of a theme. You see, the thing is, it's quite unstructured. I can sit here and literally talk about anything, which is what I've pretty much done so far. But I'd like to have something that I can just go to as a sort of regular theme. Not every single day, you understand, just every now and then, every couple of days. And I was inspired this morning. I podcast quite a lot, as I've mentioned before. I've even recommended some of them. And I listened to a podcast called A History of the World in 100 Objects, where basically a British historian tries to explain the history of the world using just 100 objects. So he uses things like, something from an Egyptian tomb, and he talks about what was going on at that time, what it was used for. He talks about particular weapons from the Middle East, or he'll talk about, a Victorian China tea set, things like that, and explain a lot about what was going on in the world at that time. And it's a really, really good series, and I would recommend it if you're a bit of a history buff. But it got me thinking, and that's always dangerous. But now I've come up with a new segment. So, if you will, please, I would like to officially introduce. There we go. A History of Splatt in 100 Objects. So, yes, basically I will be talking about little bits from my life using 100 objects. It's not going to go for the next 100 days in a row, it's going to be spread out. And yes, so hopefully we'll have a little bit more structure. Anyway, so the first object I would like to introduce is a piece of paper, and it is this. So I'm just pulling it back so you can see it. It is I'll describe the item. Item 1, a promotional election poster for a student guild election, circa 2008. Okay, so this object is very important to me. As you can see, it is a poster of somebody dressed as the Joker. That's somebody of me. But I've had the picture of the head put onto the body of a cartoon Uncle Sam, and replace the "I want you to join the US Army" with "to vote Joker." Allow me to explain the context of this particular poster. Back in 2008, I was attending Murdoch University as a young and carefree media student. And I was 18 at the time. I was just enjoying myself and things like that. And it was around about the middle of the year, start of the second semester, and a student election was starting. We had one last year. We have one every year for a new student guild president. And normally there's two main groups of, parties, I suppose you could call them. There's just two bunches. They're effectively the same people, just with slightly different ideas about, I don't know, parking allocation or something like that. Anyway, I thought it would be fun to run as a Joker candidate. And it was around this time that The Dark Knight had just been released, and obviously, the Joker, the character, as portrayed by Heath Ledger, was in a lot of people's minds. And I thought, this could be good fun. I had actually dressed up as the Joker to go to a screening of The Dark Knight with some friends. And it was about a week afterwards, I was talking with said friends, and during the course of the conversation we came up with the idea, why don't you run for the position of guild president as the Joker? So that's what I did, and for basically the next 6 weeks, I about once a week, I would be dressed up as the Joker, trying to convince people to vote for me. Not in a serious manner, I had no policies, I had no intention of winning or anything like that. I just thought it would be a laugh. And it was. The only problem was that the people who were in obviously went up again for re-election, but the other party sort of stopped existing. There was no second group of people trying to get in. So basically the only contested position was for the guild presidency, and that was between, a very capable young woman with an interest in politics and me dressed as a clown. And there was no, nothing personal, but I did actually kind of just want to see how well I could do. From what I am informed, I didn't win, because otherwise I would have had to dress like this every day for 2009, and that would have been horrendous. But apparently I didn't do too badly, which I was actually really surprised at. But yes, but what we had to do, obviously, we had to make posters, and this is one of the posters that we designed. This is probably my favourite. It was designed, I had the idea, and I gave the materials to a friend of mine, Aidan, who was a bit of a whiz with computers, and he whipped this up in about 15 minutes, and it was absolutely lovely. There were a couple of others. There was another one of me dressed as the Joker holding up a playing card, and we sort of, in the Dark Knight posters, the Joker's holding up, and in the card there's Batman. There's a picture of like the incumbent guild president with a big cross through her head and things like that. It was all tremendous fun, yes, but I now have one of these posters up in my room. I've actually just taken it down from where it is, and it just reminds me of a pretty fun time in my life, as an 18-year-old dressing up as a clown, and it's perhaps very little surprise. Shortly after this, I moved into the world of theatre a bit more seriously. Anyway, so yes, that is it. Item number 1, a poster from a guild election. Okay, so yes, that is how it will work, this history of the world. I don't know if we'll get to 100 objects. We might do 10 and see if people are still interested. But yes, we'll bring it up every now and then. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little look into my life, a little window, and that is it for today's Daily Splat, and I shall see you all tomorrow. Bye!